Electing Hillary Clinton to the presidency would be a disaster America would never recover from. She's following the worst president in American history. She's doubling down on it, and she is even more morally reprehensible than he is. First of all, every job she's ever had, she's been incompetent and morally despicable at. Every one. There's a Peter principle which says people are promoted until they reach their level of incompetency. She kept getting promoted even though she was incompetent at every job. Her first job as a young attorney. Now, ask yourself about this. She gets this rapist off. Okay, so lawyers do that. But do they have to laugh hysterically about getting a rapist off of a 12-year-old girl? She did, and I'll provide the link. And then she goes to the Senate Watergate Committee, gets fired from there for unethical behavior. And then she becomes the First Lady, and Bill gives her health care to take care of. Totally bungled that. And then her reward for standing by him while he abused and raped women. He claims he had sex with 2,000 women. 20 have come forward to say he raped and abused them. And the media claims it's been discredited. None of it's ever been discredited. So her reward for standing by him and leading the persecution of the women who were abused by Bill, she gets to have a Senate seat. They give it to her from New York, where she never lived. And she passes no significant legislation there at all. And then she gets, furthermore, for losing the campaign to Obama that everybody said she was going to win, she gets to be Secretary of State, and the most incompetent, horrible Secretary of State we've ever had. Every single decision she made enhanced her enemies and adversaries. She helped birth ISIS by their ridiculous withdrawal from Iraq after it had been stabilized. She lied to protect al-Qaeda at Benghazi. She helped create the architecture of the horrible Iran deal. China expands massively. Russia expands massively. I mean, she is the worst Secretary of State we've ever had, and now people want to promote her. It's unbelievable. Number two, she endangers national security. She's just out and out lying when she says everybody else did the same thing. No other Secretary of State ever had a personal server. She kept it in her bathroom closet, hacked by a Romanian hacker from his living room. And undoubtedly hacked by Russia, China, North Korea. She endangered her national security. And then how about the bribes? All detailed in the book Clinton Cash. Read that book, Clinton Cash. It'll tear your hair out at her immorality. While she's Secretary of State, Bill's collecting millions in fees with companies and countries that have business before the United States of America. How's that not bribery? And then hundreds of millions of dollars from the nation's worst enemies. What, they think they're doing it out of... It was a phony charitable foundation. They only spent 10% on charity. The rest they pocketed to finance their lifestyle. Clearly, those countries, it's just like a bribe that unethical judges and politicians take, and that's what she did. But she thinks the whole world is her personal bribe-taking option. She thinks that the only purpose for people to have private enterprise is to feed their phony foundation. And then every decision she made enhanced their enemies, as I mentioned. You think about all the Islamic terrorist groups that want her to succeed because they know they have her in their hip pocket, that she does everything she can to enhance them. Her 30-year closest aide, Huma Abedin, from a Muslim Brotherhood family. You think about what she did to help birth ISIS, as I said, the Iran deal, helping talking with the Taliban, justifying Hamas sending 10,000 missiles at Israel. This is a lady who loves Muslim terrorists, loves the hard left. Picture of her kissing Mrs. Arafat. I mean, this is a disgusting person who loves not Islam, but radical Islamic terrorists. And then she wants to double down on the horrific economy of Obama. We have record poverty in this country under Obama. Record poverty. So I thought the Democrats were supposed to not like poverty. Record poverty under Obama. That's what you get under Democrats. Obama campaigned against the $9 trillion of accumulated debt from Bush backwards 43 presidents, but he called it unpatriotic. But since he's been in office, doubled $20 trillion when he leaves office. So if their $9 trillion was unpatriotic, what is his $20 trillion? And her plan will add much more to it because she expands federal programs. We have more businesses going out of business than starting under Obama because of massive regulations, which he's going to continue. How about this horrific Obamacare, where he lied and said he knew you couldn't keep your doctor, couldn't keep your plan, said it anyway. He said families would have premiums reduced $2,500. They've been increased every year, massively. And he said it would cost $900 billion. It cost $2.7 trillion we didn't have. And she wants to maintain that. I mean, it's just a horrible economy. Democrats cannot be trusted with the economy. She's doubling down on that. And then how about their denial of freedom? I mean, think about how the Democrats are violently attacking people trying to attend a peaceful Trump rally where they simply want to hear him speak and they have the right to assemble. And the Democrats are beating them up and waving Mexican flags. That's what Democrats do. They're fascists. And then guns. She's said out loud, and so is her daughter, that she wants to confiscate all legal guns. And one more Supreme Court justice, which she'll certainly have the ability to pick, probably 3 or 4, will overturn the Heller decision. So the only people who have guns will be illegal criminals and terrorists. And the law-abiding citizens won't be able to protect themselves if you elect her president. And then think about the Secret Service agent who knew them best, 8 years served them, wrote a new book documenting her insanity. She's mentally insane, he says. And he knew her better than anybody except probably Bill. And now we've discovered evidence of her racist, deep-seated racist beliefs. Picture of her wearing blackface. You know, they're Southerner, they were in Arkansas, and typical Democratic Southerners were the KKK. And she's just another one. She loved Senator Byrd, who was a KKK grandmaster, and she's just been hiding it all these years to try and get elected, but really has deep-seated racist beliefs. And how about, have we ever had a nominee before investigated by 150 FBI agents for criminal investigation? No, that's her. And she's a congenital liar. She lied about Benghazi. She told her daughter and 2 world leaders that night that she knew it was an al-Qaeda organized raid. But she lied to the families and the American people for weeks, claiming that it was based on a video that nobody saw. Why? Because Obama was trying to pretend that al-Qaeda was weaker when it was really growing stronger. So she lied to cover for al-Qaeda and to help Obama. And then she claims to be this big champion of women. Yeah, is it a big champion of women to persecute the women who her husband raped and abused? That's what she did. And is it a champion of women to get a rapist off and laugh about it? She paid the women much less in her phony charitable foundation. Is that something she pretends to campaign against? But she actually is a hypocrite. And so for these and many more reasons, electing Hillary would be a catastrophe, doubling down on the worst presidency ever of Obama. She'd make it much worse. She's just as radical. She took the same mentoring from radical Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radical. She is an ultra-leftist masquerading as somebody who's not. She'd be very dangerous for the United States and the world.